everyone, and welcome to our Session 1 recap. Today, we're going to quickly walk through the key concepts we've covered on our journey to mastering one of the most vital skills for confident and effective communication, vocabulary. This session was designed to fundamentally change how you think about learning words, moving you away from tedious memorization and toward a more organic, effective, and empowering approach. In essence, we are focused on three core principles. First, understanding the power of vocabulary in context. Second, exploring how to confidently use idioms and phrases to sound more natural. The third, equipping you with powerful science-backed strategies for vocabulary retention. Let's begin with our first and most important principle, learning vocabulary in context. The core idea here is that words are not static items on a list. They are dynamic, living tools, like chameleons whose meaning changes based on their surroundings. To truly master a word, you must understand not just its definition, but how and where it is used in real-life conversations and situations. A perfect example for our course material is the word charge. If you're at a restaurant and asked to charge my meal to my room, it means to add a cost. But if you hear there's a small charge for plastic bags at the store, it means a fee. When you say, I need to charge my phone, you mean to provide power. And in military context, the soldiers prepare to charge the hill. It means to attack. The single word charge can have 5 completely different meanings, and context is what gives it its life and purpose. This approach offers 4 key benefits for your learning. First, it makes words easier to remember. When you connect a word to a specific scenario, like getting a receipt after you pay at a grocery store, it's more deeply encoded in your long-term memory. Second, it helps you understand subtle differences in meaning. Think about big, large, and huge. While similar, a native speaker might talk about a large sum of money, but a huge mistake. And understanding the context helps you make the right choice. Third, this approach helps you speak more naturally and fluently. By learning words in the phrases native speakers use, you move from I want to reserve a table to the more natural I'd like to make a reservation, please. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, learning in context helps you build confidence. It's the difference between fumbling for words and being able to confidently ask, is this dish suitable for someone with a nut allergy at a restaurant, knowing you have used the precise and correct term. Next, we moved on to idioms and phrases, the vibrant brushstrokes of the English language. Idioms are groups of words whose meaning cannot be understood from the literal meaning of the individual words. Think of the idiom to hit the books. Literally, it means to physically strike a book, but the idiomatic meaning is to study hard. Why are idioms so important? They enable you to sound more natural, expressive, and authentic. For example, instead of saying, I am very busy right now, I have so much to do, a native speaker would likely say, I'm swamped with work right now. The idiomatic version is not only more succinct, but also more vivid and expressive, creating a stronger picture for the listener. So, how do you go from recognizing idioms to actually using them? Our guide gave us 3 key strategies. The first is to read and listen for idioms in authentic English content. Listen for them in songs and TV shows or read them in books and articles. This passive exposure helps you recognize them in context. The second strategy is to try using idioms in your own conversation. Start with simple ones and concisely try to integrate them into your speech. If you feel comfortable with it, use it. The third strategy is to create flashcards with idioms. Don't just put the idiom on the front, on the back. Write its meaning and an example sentence that gives it context. By using these active and passive methods, you start to recognize and use idioms with greater ease and confidence. Our final section focuses on a challenge every language learner faces. First, mastering vocabulary retention. It's one thing to learn a word, but it's another to remember it long term. Our guide provided 5 core, scientifically proven techniques to help new words stick. First, there's space retention. This is a learning method that leverages the forgetting curve instead of cramming. You review new words at gradually increasing intervals. You review a word immediately, then a day later, then a week later, then a month later, and so on. This time review reinforces the word just as your brain is about to forget it, making the memory stronger and more durable. You can do this with apps like Anki or even with a simple system of physical flashcard boxes. Second, we look at mnemonics. Mnemonics are creative memory aids that help you connect a new word, to something you already know. For instance, to remember the word benevolent, meaning kind or generous, you might imagine a bendy tent, providing shelter and comfort to many people. The more vivid, creative, or humorous the image or story, the more powerful it will be for your memory. Third, we talked about the power of active usage. Passive knowledge is great. It means you can recognize a word when you see it, but active usage is what moves a word into your production vocabulary, allowing you to use it spontaneously. This means writing a new word in your journal, using it in conversation with a friend, or even trying to teach it to someone else. Fourth, we explore the concept of grouping related words into semantic networks. Our brains are wired to make connections, so learning words by theme like food preparation, travel, or emotions is much more effective than learning them in isolation. Finally, we discuss using visual aids. Since our brains remember images better than words alone, connecting new words with pictures, mind maps, or physical labels can significantly boost retention. In conclusion, the message of session 1 is clear. Vocabulary learning is a continuous active process, not a one-time event. By committing to learning vocabulary in context, you give words genuine meaning and purpose, transforming them into powerful tools for communication. Let's continue to build our skills, one word and one real-life situation at a time. Keep practicing, maintain your curiosity, and watch as your communication skills truly flourish. Thank you.